Florida sunrise. It's nice. It's hot, but it's nice. I'll tell you, what else is nice is trucks on the farm for doing stuff. And you guys know we've got all kinds of trucks, little trucks, big trucks. And one of the best trucks was the good old boy, who is not here right now, as you can see. And I'm going to tell you a quick story why. The good old boy, in case you don't know, is a 99 F250 that we just threw every part at and just made it into a crazy truck. But I did something bad. I made it too hot, for lack of a better term. And every time we would tow with that truck, it would fail. Something would fail just towing. Around town, high performance, blasting 4 seconds, 0 to 60s, blowing smoke everywhere, no problem. But as soon as we started going on like a 5, 6, 8 hour trip just driving, it would have trouble. Like it would blow injector modules and wires would melt and things just, it was unreliable for that purpose. So I decided to move on from that truck and do something else. And today I'm going to show you what I've decided to go with. Luckily, my buddy Heath over at Locks DCE, the guy who built the good old boy, he was willing to do a kind of a trade, because I really didn't want to have to deal with that truck anymore, and it left us stranded 5 hours from home, and I had to pay thousands of dollars in tow bills and everything else. So he went over and recovered the truck and my trailer, and he gave me another truck, and I'm kind of excited about it. It's a really cool truck. Check this out. So the replacement for the good old boy on the farm here is this monstrosity. This is a Dodge Ram 3500 with the 12 valve Cummins diesel. And this one is pretty stacked. It's 4-wheel drive, dually, and I'm actually pretty excited about this thing. It's rough everywhere except the drivetrain. The motor is freaking solid. The transmission is solid. And guess what? It's a manual. So we've got a manual transmission, got the transfer case there. We got the typical Dodge dash. As you can see, it deletes itself. That's what happens with these things. Like, so I'm putting another dash in this thing. That's why it's out. There's nothing here. But I've been just doing a bunch of little things to get this truck up to snuff. And I'm just gonna kind of run you through the different little things that we did, and then we're gonna take it for a little test drive because I wanna see how she runs with all the stuff we did. So this is a stock 12 valve Cummins, nothing crazy under the hood, just the original whole set HX35 over here, and the infamous P pump right here. Awesome. I've never had one of these, so I'm really excited to get into this thing and start playing around. So the basic stuff that I started with, just because my brain works this way, is put more fuel to it and get it where it needs to be. When I got the truck, it was just absolutely lethargic. It did not want to move. I mean, foot to the floor, it took like 20-30 seconds to get to 60 miles an hour, maybe longer. But I knew that was because of the setup. So first thing we did was we went into the air fuel control module, which is called the AFC for short, and I took the fuel plate out and just swapped the washers around just to get the action full so that that's working good, and also turn they call it the star wheel, but it's just an adjuster to adjust essentially spring pressure inside here, because this is basically like a wastegate that controls your fuel system. It's like a variable fuel regulator type thing. So anyway, boost goes into it, and if you tighten it, it doesn't give as much fuel, and if you loosen it, it moves easier with boost and it gives more fuel. So I loosen the living hell out of it so that it gives as much fuel as I can. And then conversely, we went over here and we we're bleeding off the wastegate so we can bring the boost up. So those two things combined are going to give us a huge change in power. This thing should run like a rape date. So let's see. We'll take it for a spin, but let me know what you guys think. We decided to call this truck Lucille. She's old, but man, she's been working at the diner a long time, so she doesn't take shit from anyone. And I'm pretty excited. This thing's got a hitch here, and a gooseneck hitch there. This crazy fabricated bed, boxes everywhere. This is the perfect farm truck. So we're gonna just use this for moving stuff around locally, and then I'm just gonna have to get a new truck for going on long distance trips. I'm sure this thing could probably do it actually, but either way, let's go ahead and take this thing for a drive and see what we're working with. And we're working with a lot. All right, so we're out here on the road now. We're gonna test and see how everything looks. Now we've got no dash obviously, but I do have this oil pressure gauge that I'm using as a boost gauge. So we're gonna see what kind of boost this thing is making with the setup that I've got. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what we got. Looks like 30, about 30, 32, maybe 31. That's nice. And she feels real good. Real solid, comes in a boost quick. Yep. Oh yeah, that's nice. We saw a little bit of smoke back there, but it clears up once the boost comes in, so that's perfect. I think that's a good spot for this turbo, 30 to 32 PSI. We don't want to push it too much harder than that, stock turbo. And it takes that fuel perfectly. So, man, this thing's awesome. It's actually quicker than I thought. This is a big truck. I think this truck probably weighs 7,000 pounds or close to it. So it's considerably heftier than the F-250 was, and that's going to contribute to it obviously feeling slower with even a decent amount of power. But this thing actually gets out of its own way. I'm super happy with this as it is right now. So we got a couple little things we got to take care of besides that, and I get my fuel gauge works once in a while. If anybody's real familiar with these trucks, hit me up, because I'm gonna need some careful guidance as I navigate this landscape that is the Cummins truck. Cool. So I'm just gonna keep on rolling, but this is pretty good. You can see how quick it gets on boost. Hopefully you can see that right here. And it just starts trucking, bro. Woo! Man, what a cool truck. Well, as you can see by that little road test, this bad boy, or bad girl, is ready to get out there and just pull some trailers. I guess that's what we do these days. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. This is going to be a kind of an interesting project. I'm going to start with a couple of things to get this thing going. I know you guys are going to fill me up in the comments, so go down there, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this old girl, and what should we do to this 12 valve? Just spice it up a little bit. What should we do? Compound turbo? Big fuel upgrades? I think you can take it. I've heard these things can handle a lot of power. So anyway, tow rig. And my other ride's a tractor, in case you didn't see the license plate. It's right in there. See you guys in the next one.